The strange story of Henry Trigg's coffin. For many years, doctors and scientists have cut open human bodies to learn how they work. In the past, they often got these bodies from people who were executed. During medieval times, many people were put to death for small crimes, giving medical schools plenty of bodies to study. But as execution became less common, schools started to run out of the bodies. This problem led to the rise of resurrectionists, people who stole bodies from graves and sold them to medical schools. To stop snatchers, militaries took strong actions. They hired guards, put traps around graves, and even built cages over burial sites. Some people placed bodies in special buildings called moat house until they decayed and were useless to thieves. Henry Trigg was a wealthy grocer who lived in Stevenage, a small town in England, during the early 17th century. He owned several shops and was an important member of the community. One night, while walking home from a tavern with his friend, Henry saw body snatchers stealing a freshly buried body. This sight scared him, and he decided to protect his own body from being stolen after his death. Henry Trigg wrote a will with unusual instruction. He asked that his body be placed in a coffin and stored in the rafters of his barn instead of being buried in a graveyard. He believed that after 30 years, he would come back to life and claim his property. Henry even wanted the barn doors locked from the inside, with the key placed inside his coffin so he could free himself. Henry Trigg died in 1724. Since he had no wife or children, he left his entire property to his brother Thomas Trigg. To make sure his wishes were followed, Henry included a rule in his will. If Thomas did not follow his instruction, the property would go to their other brother George. If George also refused, the property would pass to a nephew. Thomas Trigg followed Henry's strange request. Henry's body was placed in a lead-lined coffin and lifted about 10 feet above the ground in the barn. This odd burial became famous and many people came to see it. When the barn was turned into a pub called the Old Castle Inn in 1774, the coffin remained a popular attraction. Even though Henry's niece wanted the body moved to a proper grave, the new pub owner refused because the coffin attracted visitors. Over the years, people began stealing parts of Henry's body. A carpenter took one of his teeth and lock of his hair in the early 18th century. In 1831, the inn's landlord opened the coffin and said Henry's hair was still well preserved. By 1906, when a local archaeological group examined the coffin, about one-third of Henry's skeleton was missing. During World War I, soldier stations in Stevenage reportedly stole more bones and replaced them with horse bones. In 1999, the barn was sold to a National Westminster Bank. When the bank renovated the property, Henry's coffin was moved to a funeral home. Some reports say the coffin was empty, while others claims it contained a mix of human and animal bones which were later buried. Today, the bones still stand in Stevenage's middle row. Henry's empty coffin remains in the rafters, and local legends say his ghost haunts the building searching for his lost bones. The last reported sighting of his ghost was in 1964, when someone claimed to see him walking through a brick wall. Since then, no one has seen him again. Despite his effort to protect his body, poor Henry's plan failed. His remains were stolen bit by bit, and he never got the peaceful rest he wanted. If you like this video, please comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.